Ru Mataji, Sip Ashok Chotwani, Sip Raju, Sip Kumar Swami, Sip Parvati Amma, Sip Leena Anand, Sip Bliko. Do we have a good connection? Sudeep Bhargava, audio video. Audio video. Sip Sudeep, Sip Sagai Raj, Sip Bridget, Sip Gautam, Sip Dasi, Sip Atmatray, Sip Eru. Welcome to the call, and the rest of you, I can't see you. The administrator is putting a very interesting question today, a very interesting question, and you may not know the answer. Let me see if you know the answer. Why do pleasure of the senses rob us of the treasure of consciousness? Who would like to go? Why do the pleasure of the senses rob us the treasure of the consciousness? What do you understand by this enlightening question? Somebody asked me this. I would call this question enlightening. Somebody asked me this, and they didn't know the answer. But they said, the pleasures of the senses are destroying my happiness. So I coined this question. Who would like to go?
Guruji,
Yes.
I feel the senses will put you to addiction. So
Right.
you get addicted to it, and then you tend to forget. You want more and more.
Right. So it's true, right? The senses, the pleasure that the senses give us, they ultimately rob our happiness. Is it true or is it not true?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
I think so.
But Dasi, today we are touching one more step forward. Why do they rob the treasure of consciousness? So we are trying to get there.
Okay.
So who would like to touch? Dasi, give us the answer to the first point. The first point, Dasi says, the moment the senses want, they are never satisfied. They want more and they want more and they want more.
Exactly.
So this is a very good point Dasi has said. So let us see. Sudeep, thank you, Dasi. Sudeep Bhargava.
Sir.
Sure.
So the pleasure that we are drawing from the senses will give us a sorrow also.
Yeah.
Okay. So this like jumping between the sorrow and the pleasure, this will lead into the thoughts.
How will they give sorrow? Tell me. Why would pleasure of the senses give sorrow?
Sir, whatever I want, if I get it, it gives me a pleasure. If I don't get it, that gives me sorrow also.
Lovely. Don't you feel that when you want something and you don't get it? Oh, somebody was to give you something, they don't give you, you're unhappy. Somebody was to meet you, they don't meet you, you're unhappy. Somebody was to call you, they don't call you, you become unhappy. So Sudeep has brought about a beautiful thing. The senses, they seek, they desire, they crave. And every time the eyes, the nose, the ears, the tongue, the skin is not satisfied, doesn't get what we want, then we become unhappy. But Sudeep, how do they rob you of the treasure of consciousness?
So moving this to and fro from sorrow and pleasure, happiness and sorrow. So this will push us into thoughts. These thoughts is something that will take away the consciousness from us, because we will keep thinking that why I did not get it. If I get it, then what will happen? So those thoughts that the senses will generate, that will take away the consciousness.
So why are people still seeking this pleasure of the senses? Why is the whole world seeking pleasure of senses?
Because that is giving them the instant gratification, sir. That's what the world is all about. They want immediate answers. They want immediate happiness. Something which is abstract, they don't want to wait for it.
Today, somebody took me to a place to demonstrate a home theater. People are spending 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs to make a home theater, making a theater in their house. And I was going to do it as a projection in the temple for spreading the message, not for a home theater. But how people are making theater in their house? Because the senses, the eyes can see a beautiful screen and the ears can hear fantastic sound. But can the pleasure of these senses rob us of the treasure of consciousness? You're still not. I'm still waiting for you all to touch the tip of the iceberg.
May I,
so thank
Guruji?
Bataiye Rumataji. Then Bliko. When you speak without raising your hand, you are bypassing. You are taking shortcut.
Let him tell first. Let Blikoji tell first.
नहीं आप बताइए, people will respect you and they say पहले रू माता जी को बोलना है.
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है गुरुजी.
बोलिए.
प्रणाम गुरुजी. Guruji, I remember the blind beggar who is collecting money from the people passers by in a bowl, and at the end of the day he throws away the coin, rupees, and keeps the coin with them, realizing that that is valuable for him. But the one compassionate person explained him that rupees have got more value than your coins. So he was very thankful to that person. Similar is, we are like blind beggars. We want to gratify our senses, and in that way we forget that we are losing our consciousness.
अरे वाह, see रूह माता जी, क्या dialogue, क्या amazing answer from रूह माता जी. रूह
गुरु
माता
जी,
जी says,
आपने ही बताया, सब हमारा कुछ नहीं है.
अरे
आपने
मैंने
ही
कुछ नहीं
बताया.
बताया, मैं क्या बताता हूँ, मैं थोड़ी कुछ बताता हूँ, आप ही तो
नहीं,
बताते हैं.
आपने ही
the-
बताया.
look at how रूह माता जी said, I never told like this so dynamically. We are like blind beggars. Have I told? I have never told. I am nothing. I am nobody. I am nothing. रूह माता जी ने कहा, we are like blind beggars. अरे क्या बात है. We are like blind beggars. We are keeping the coins and throwing the notes. So she has touched the tip of the answer. We are losing the treasure of consciousness because of the pleasure of senses. We are stupid. We are stupid. Because we are throwing the notes and we are keeping the coins. We are throwing the treasure of consciousness and we are keeping the pleasure of senses, not realizing that what we are missing, the treasure of consciousness. My dear friends, have you experienced that nectar that in the scriptures, it is called Amrit. It is called Amrit. When will we taste that treasure of consciousness? Where nothing will matter. We get worried, we get upset, small things happening, small fear, small worry. We lose our peace of mind, we become unhappy, we get upset at people, we speak bad words, we speak nasty words. Why? Because we have lost the treasure of consciousness. Because we are like blind beggars. I like Ru Mataji's statement. Bliko. Thank you, Ru Mataji. Bliko.
Thank you, Guruji.
Bliko,
Pranam,
बताइए.
Guruji.
Pranam.
Yeah, sense pleasure.
गुरुजी मत बोलो, मैं गुरु नहीं हूँ.
Yeah.
अब गुरुजी मत बोलो, आप AiR बोलो बस. हाँ, बताइए.
AiR. Okay. Sense pleasure will draw our attention outward towards the world, and world is full of Maya, and all the pleasures are transitory, temporary, and we lose our time in wasting chasing that pleasure and leaving behind our nectar, which you just now referred. So this attention outward will away from our consciousness and away from our goal to attain enlightenment, and we lose our lives uselessly.
Why? So what you're saying is very correct. But why does this happen? Why does
Because-
the pleasure of the senses rob the treasure
Yeah.
of consciousness? Why?
Yeah, the pleasure will activate mind and body, and because mind will attracted towards that pleasure, and body will get satisfaction because of the temporary pleasure which the world give you, and then it will make crave for that pleasure, and mind will go again on that one, and then her journey towards inward will stop.
Okay, good. I appreciate you have put the facts down, but we have to understand why. We have to understand why. And I want to give you today, every call of mine, if I don't give some value to you, I wasted your time, I wasted my time. Today, I want to give you the understanding why it happens. Why does the pleasure of the senses rob us of the treasure of consciousness? Girish.
When I enjoy sense pleasures,
Yeah.
I become a slave to that, and I become a bhokta. Actually, when I am in consciousness, I am not a doer or enjoyer. Indirectly, when I experience sense pleasures, I give a reality to this world. I become separate from this creation. that sense of oneness is gone. Reality given to a movie, there we need to suffer also.
But why does what you're
That's
saying is
what robs
absolutely
our-
correct. So Girish, why do you think this happens, Girish?
See, the enjoyment creates impressions which makes us to repeat those actions to get same enjoyment once again, and that makes us to indulge in action.
Correct.
More karma will be created.
Correct. I'm agreeing. I'm only asking one word. Why?
Shivoham,
We become the enjoyer.
Wait,
That is,
Rekha, please wait, Rekha. Yes.
see, the moment we become the doer and enjoyer.
Yeah.
We think that we are separate from SIP. That will put us away from the house of SIP.
I agree. I'm only asking one word. Why? Why
We
does this
give
happen?
reality to Maya there
Why? Why do you give
because of
reality?
ignorance. Because of ignorance and forgetting our real nature.
What ignorance?
Ignorance about the self-identity.
Okay. But this answer will not give you the solution to this problem. Today, I want to give you solution to this problem. I want you to overcome I want you to overcome what Ru Mataji said. Ru Mataji said, we are blind beggars. I want you not to be a blind beggar. I want you to be an awakened king. How can you go from a blind beggar to an awakened king? That is the answer I'm giving you in 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes more, I'm giving you the answer. Rekha Parwani.
Shivoham, our senses are controlled by our mind.
Yeah.
So our mind doesn't allow us to be in consciousness. So that's what it is like.
Why?
It-
Why? Why the senses don't allow you to be in consciousness? Why? Kavita, did you
Because
also ask?
the mind,
Kavita?
yes, sure.
Kavita, did you want to ask a question?
No, I wanted to answer only that our senses give us pleasure, and in the ignorance, we think those pleasures are real.
Yeah.
We forget that the consciousness, actually the real pleasure is in consciousness, not in the senses what give us pleasure.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Why?
गुरुजी हमारा मन बड़ा चंचल है.
रू माता जी, हाँ बताइए. आपने तो ऑलरेडी बता दिया ब्लाइंड बेगर. और क्या बोलना अभी और मन चंचल तो क्या होता है?
मन भटकता रहता है इधर उधर कभी.
अरे माता जी मैं क्वेश्चन वही तो पूछ रहा हूँ. क्यों? क्यों 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 क्यों? अशोक निचानी.
सर शिवम सर जी.
शिवम.
मोह माया चुरा लिया है तुमको मुझसे.
वेरी करेक्ट. 100% करेक्ट. ओनली टेल मी क्यों?
सब मोह माया की वजह से.
क्यों?
अविद्या.
क्यों? क्या?
Our senses, we don't listen to the inner voice.
Okay, we have got Tushatma.
Sir, senses does not want us to get liberated, does not want us to get unified with the
To get
God.
liberation. Speak loudly, please.
Sir, senses does not want us to get liberated. It does not want us to get unified with the God.
Senses don't have any intention. Senses are just a perception given to us. So maybe you say you mean mind, but that is not enough. That's not the answer. Quickly, I want to answer. So only one minute more. Pawan, thank you, Tushatma. Pawan.
Sir, I think when we are not connected with the SIP, we get distracted by these worldly things, and that is why it does not allow us to.
Very good answer. It's not my answer, but it's a good answer. Last attempt. Thank you, Supreme. Last attempt, and I'm giving you the answer now. Supreme.
Yes. So God has made this all Maya Jal. And we are like puppets and we are playing and he's enjoying. He's letting like everyone do whatever they want.
You're blaming God.
उनके लिए खेल है.
Now you're blaming God.
I'm not blaming. It's made, the universe has made this drama. It's very happening and very enjoyable. And we are the actors.
Let me give the answer to you and then we jump to ask AiR. Why do the pleasure of the senses rob the treasure of consciousness? Let me start with the story of the blind beggar, which Ru Mataji said. We are like blind beggars. When the blind beggar was told that you are taking the coins, but you are throwing the notes, what does the blind beggar do? From the next day, do you think he threw the notes? How many of you think he will be continuing to throw the notes from the next day onwards? You know what the blind beggar did from the next day onwards? Whenever he was collecting money, he would put his hand. Any notes coming, he would first take the notes and keep in his pocket, because he knew the notes has 100 times more value than a coin. But why are we like blind beggars? Let me give you the answer. You know the honest truth. The pleasure of senses do not rob my treasure of consciousness. You know why? Why do the pleasure of senses not rob my treasure of consciousness? Do you know why? Do you know why? I live in a state of Sat Chit Anand. Do you know why? I live in a state of Nirvana, Ananda. Do you know why? Let me share with you. Let me give you the secret. I live in that state of Sat Chit Anand and I'm not stolen by the pleasure of the senses, and I enjoy the treasure of consciousness because I have experienced it. Because I have experienced that treasure of consciousness, I don't want the pleasure of senses. If somebody comes and tells me you want the pleasure of sense or treasure of consciousness, I say, take your pleasure of sense and throw it in the dustbin. I am not a slave to pleasures. Why am I not a slave to pleasure? I enjoy pleasure, but they don't rob the treasure of consciousness, because, my dear friends, my dear revered, enlightened friends, I have been fortunate to experience that treasure called Sat Chit Anand. Because many people have not experienced that, they are still letting the senses rob them. So what should you do now? I'm asking you one more follow-up question. Therefore, what should you do? Who will tell me the answer? What should you do? Therefore, what should you do to stop this problem? What should you do? Nobody is giving answer.
Live like as a yogi.
No. What should you do? Simple
Shivam,
answer. Yes. Shivam, bolo.
be in consciousness all the time.
How?
सच्चित आनंद में रह के.
कैसे माजी? रू माता जी, ऐसे बोलने से सच्चित आनंद में रहो. अभी से आप रह के दिखाओ मुझे.
Cut the noise.
हाँ, Bliko, yes. I can't hear you, Bliko.
By realizing the truth that all the pleasure is transitory and it's all part of Maya, we have
Even
to realize the truth.
No, Bliko, even by realizing this will not solve the problem. I please capture the answer. I already gave the answer. You should know the answer. Still, you are not telling me the answer. What should you do? I gave the answer.
Enlightenment.
Nahi. What should you do? I gave the answer already.
By
What should you do?
not becoming a slave of the pleasures.
Yeah, for that, what should you do? For that,
experience the treasure of consciousness, Sachitananda.
Who's saying this? Who's saying this?
Pawan, sir. Pawan here.
Excellent answer. Excellent. Now you're talking focus. Now after I have disciplined you, you're talking focus. Look at Pawan giving the answer. Once Pawan gets my salute. Pawan
Thank
gets
you,
my
sir.
salute.
I bow down to this.
By experiencing the treasure of consciousness, you are no more a blind beggar. You have not, my dear friends, stop and experience the treasure of consciousness. Please stop. Please stop. and please experience. सत के चित में रहता, आनंदा में रहता, सच्चिदानंदा हाल है वो, सच का एहसास है करना, आनंदा में रहता, जो सच का चित्त करता, जो सच का चित्त करता. If you reach that state of consciousness, अरे, you will get such a nasha. You will get such a nasha. What are all this bloody rubbish pleasure of senses? Throw it in the dustbin. What are these pleasure of the, what eating some, what just seeing some men, they see some girls, they look at girls like this, as if they've never seen girls. They will look at girls, or some men, they will touch, they don't, one kind of men, they will look at girls. One kind of men, they look at gold. Come on, some women, if women look at gold, they forget everything. If the woman goes into the sari shop, she will forget that, she forgets everything. My dear friends, look at a sharabi. That sharabi holds the glass in the hand. Jhum barabar jhum sharabi. Jhum barabar jhum. He's dead. Finished. He is dead. My dear friends, this sharab and kebab and shabab doesn't last. Sharab and kebab and shabab doesn't last. If you want, Bridget, I'm sorry for using these words. If you want to enjoy the treasure of consciousness, please stop. Don't be a blind beggar. Spend moments trying to experience. Try to, Bliko told me that he experienced some consciousness. Please try to be in that. Oh my God, how to explain to you how I enjoy this divine consciousness? How to explain to you? Okay, over to you. Question answers. Facebook question. Can we say pleasure leads to demand? Suraj Prasad Singh in Facebook is asking, can we say pleasure leads to demand? Pleasure leads us to desire, not demand. Pleasure, the moment you enjoy pleasure, suppose you go eat something and it's lovely, you will go back. And suppose you go and you do something and gives you pain, you will not go back again. So pleasure will take you back again, and pain will not. Suppose you have pleasure, you want to go. Oh, I want to go, and so much pleasure, so much pleasure. You go 2 times, you get 2 slaps. Will you go back? And then I don't want to go. So this is what happens in this world, right? So that is from a Facebook question of Suraj Prasad. That's next question, live question, please. Live questions. Administrator, anybody? I thought you will, after this today's session, you will have many questions.
Shivoham AiR.
Shivoham.
To experience Satchit Anand, we have to go into silence.
You have asked the beautiful question, but you're not giving the right answer.
Yeah.
To experience Sat Chit Anand, there are 3 words. It is very simple. It is 3 words. Sat, Chit, Anand. If you want Anand, you must be in Chit of Sat. But you are not in Chit of Sat. You're always thinking, where are my little children who are 35 years old? And what are my little babies of 35-year-old doing? Then how you will be in Sat Chit Anand?
No, now I don't do that anymore.
But are you, okay, if you're out of that, but are you in that state of consciousness? Are you feeling like a yogi? मैं एक योगी प्रभु के योग में मैं जीता.
I'm trying to be.
Be there. Don't try. Be.
I'll be there. Yes.
What do I do? I don't get worried if a pleasure goes away from me. I also enjoy pleasures, but I am not a slave of pleasures. I am a human being. I enjoy pleasure. I have a cup of tea. It's good, but I'm not a slave. of
Yeah.
anything. I'm not a slave of anything. So I remain in that state of being a yogi. That's a simple thing I do. And what I do is not special. Any of you can do it. Any of you can do be a yogi if you stop being a bhogi. You are a bhogi. All the time you want the pleasure of the senses, pleasure of the senses, eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin, pleasure of the senses make me happy. Then if you are like that, then what can I do?
That's
Pleasure of
going
the
to be
senses,
temporary.
pleasure of the senses should not make you happy. The treasure
No.
of consciousness should give you bliss. Next question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be in Sat Chitta. Be in Sat Chitta. You will experience Satchidanand. Next question, please. And try to stick to this point. Any of you who want to be in Satchidanand, stick to this point and tell me, what is your problem? What's holding you back? Where is the difficulty? Come on, ask me. This is Bliko. Yes, Bliko.
I have one clarification, because I read from your book that consciousness of the truth take us from a transformation to a metamorphosis. There, then we enjoy the state of eternal bliss and everlasting peace.
Amazing. Amazing point you picked. So what do you want to do? You want me to explain that? Or what do you
Yeah,
want
because
to
I want to need more clarification on,
Let
because
me,
I can
beautiful.
understand the word transformation to metamorphosis.
One of the best questions in the last 1 week. One of the best questions of Bliko in the last 1 week. Please understand why it is so important to reach this state of metamorphosis. Let me explain to you, because this is the best question in the last 1 week. What is this question in the last one? Why am I saying it? Let me explain to you. If you only experience a transformation, Bliko, the transformation is a transitory change. For example, water can become ice. Water has transformed to ice. But if you take the ice out of the refrigerator, what will happen? The ice will become water. The water has transformed to ice, and the ice has transformed to water. In the spiritual line, we don't want a transformation. We don't want people to go from a state of samsara, from a state of bhoga, to a state of yoga, and come back to yoga and yoga, bhoga, bhoga, yoga, bhoga, yoga, bhoga. You want like that? You want to be bhoga, yoga, yoga, bhoga, bhoga, yoga, bhoga. If you are like that, then you will never, ever experience Satchidanand. So your example, Bliko, is not to be like water transforming to ice. You want to be like a caterpillar that sheds its skin and becomes a butterfly. That is called a metamorphosis. And there's a beautiful bhajan on Kamala. I don't remember the tune about how the Kamala becomes a titili. So there's a beautiful bhajan which I've written. You want to reach that state where the crawling caterpillar, the caterpillar that is crawling.
शिवा मैं एक स्मोक क्या हूँ प्रभु कुछ भी नहीं.
How does the antara go?
It's मैं क्या हूँ भी नहीं. सब कुछ तुम ही हो प्रभु. It's that bhajan which has this.
कमला एक कीड़ा था पर तितली बनाया जो तुम ही हो. हमको भी मुक्ति दे दे.
पंख हमको तू दे दे.
हम तो कुछ भी तो नहीं, हमको तू अपना ले.
अपना ले. मैं भी उड़ के तेरे पास. It's that, no?
Okay, yeah. AiR has sent it to me. Let me try to sing. Let me sing it for you since. Let me see if I can sing it for you. Okay.
Yes,
so,
sing it for us.
So this one, this is what it says. It says, where is it gone? Okay. So I hope you all can see me. It says, तितली जो उड़ती हवा में प्रभु वो तितली तुम ही तो हो. तितली जो उड़ती हवा में प्रभु, वो तितली तुम ही तो हो। कमला एक कीड़ा था पर तितली बनाया जो तुम ही हो। हमको भी मुक्ति दे दे, पंख हमको तू दे दे। हम तो कुछ भी तो नहीं, प्रभु तू अपना ले। मैं भी उड़ के तेरे पास आ जाऊं, चाहूं ये मैं क्या हूं कुछ। Okay, so Bliko, you want to get a metamorphosis. You don't want to become Bharat to Bliko, Bliko to Bharat, Bharat to Bliko, Bliko to Bharat, Bharat to Bliko. You want to kill Bharat and you want to become Bliko. Sorry to use that strong term. You want to destroy Bharat only when Bharat is nowhere. So, you know, I have a girl who is my backbone in spirituality. Her name is AiR. Yeah. So AiR came and asked me the question. AiR asked the question, how can I reach that state of Satchidanand? So you know what I told her? I told her it's very simple. You are AiR. If you AiR wants to become like air, just drop you. AiRU, AiR. The moment you drop you become air. But can you drop you? Can you drop you? My dear friends, answer for you all is the same answer. Can you drop who you are? Bharat, can you drop you? If you drop you, from a transformation, you become a metamorphosis. Because if you drop you, why I gave you all this answer of AiR? Because if you drop you, if Rekha, you drop you are no more Rekha. You become Satchidananda. If Ashok Chotwani, you drop you, the challenge to experience Satchidananda, Rumataji, you have to drop Kiran Kathuria. If you drop Kiran Kathuria, you become the Ru. You go through a metamorphosis. Are you willing, my dear friends? I dropped me. Are you willing to drop you? And then you will experience this state of divine bliss, which I call Sat Chit Anand. So, Bliko, have I answered your question, Bliko? Transformation is exchangeable, is reversible. Sorry. Transformation
is perfect.
Yeah, transformation is reversible. Metamorphosis is irreversible. And then you will be in that state of Sat Chit Anand. Good, thank you.
Still, but still challenge of being in that state remains challenge.
No.
Initially.
Yes, but it's not a challenge. It is only a wave. It is no more a challenge. You use the word challenge. It is no more a challenge because you will come back to that state of Satchidanand. Even though you may be pulled by the samsara, you may be pulled by some senses, you may be distracted somewhere, you have already been metamorphized. The butterfly cannot become a kida, cannot become a caterpillar. So be sure. In fact, that's one of the questions tomorrow or day after. It's a very interesting question somebody has asked. I hope it will come back tomorrow or day after. We have another 2-3 minutes to close this session. Who would like to ask questions? Last 1 or 2 questions, quickly. Who would like to ask? But lovely question, Bliko, one of the best questions. What is the difference between a transformation and a metamorphosis? Very advanced question. Last question. Today there's been very good silence in the group. All are thinking. All are thinking. All are contemplating.
Shivam, AiR.
Shivoham.
When we are in Satchit Anand, I know it's silly, but I still want to ask you, how do we feel? How do you feel?
I feel as if Satchit Anand. You know, Anand means what? Ananda, Satchit Ananda, Satke Chit mein rehna hame, Mithya ko dur hame karna, Sat ke chit mein rehna hai. Can you be like this? Can you sing like me?
It's like you Don't care for anything, है ना?
I don't care if you think I'm a donkey. I don't care if you think I'm a monkey. It doesn't matter. I don't care about anybody. I don't care what anybody thinks about me because it hardly matters. I only know that I am united with the divine. And I only know that I am nothing. He is everything.
Yes. That
And I only tell him one thing. I tell him, है ये आस्था मुकम्मल तुम ही हो जीवन में मेरे और कुछ नहीं हो कन कन मेरा तुम बस तुम ही हो और कुछ भी आए जगह नहीं हो मेरे तन मन में मुकम्मल तुम ही हो बस एक तुम ही हो बस एक तुम ही हो मेरे दिल में बस एक तुम ही हो. Are you able to do that? You say, है ये आस्था समोसा भी हो, है ये आस्था जिलेबी भी हो, साड़ी भी हो, सोना भी हो, पतिदेव भी हो, बच्चे भी हो, संसार चाहती पर AiR को भी सुनना, मुक्ति चाहती पर संसार
It's not like that.
So we have to be in intoxication of that things, right? Completely
you have to be
intoxication.
able, to let go. Samosa आया तो आया. Some people they say not only samosa, I want samosa with hari mirchi. Not only samosa, samosa plus hari mirchi. Otherwise, I don't like the samosa.
No,
so we have to go beyond. We have to go beyond it. For me, they give me something. I say, अच्छा है. जो भी खाना दो, अच्छा है.
अच्छा है.
Anything is good. I enjoy anything that comes to me. So you reach that state of Sat-Chit
Anand.
My dear friends, today I have dropped.
गुरुजी, इसका मतलब ये है ना कि अगर तितली की तरह उड़ना है तो किरण कथूरिया का क्रियाक्रम करना पड़ेगा.
बिल्कुल, आज ही करो.
बिल्कुल,
आज ही कीजिए आप. किरण कथूरिया को, अगर किरण कथूरिया को आप नहीं मारेंगी तो आप रू माता जी नहीं बन सकती.
अब आप रोज मुझे कहते हैं रू माता जी, फिर भी अकल नहीं आती, क्या करें ना.
आप सबको अब जो कोई बोलते हैं आप कौन है, क्या बोलते हैं आप बोलते हैं मैं रू हूं. आप तो बोलते हैं मैं तो किरण कथूरिया हूँ जी. आप ऐसे
गुरुजी कोई पूछता ही नहीं है. गुरुजी कोई नहीं पूछता. कोई नहीं
तो
पूछता.
आप बोलिए सबको, आप सबको बोलिए मैंने नाम बदला दिया.
अच्छा ठीक है.
आपको तो शर्म आता है. किसी को बोलने में शर्म आता है कि मैंने नाम बदलाया. So with that note, I wish all of you today. I have dropped with you a very beautiful thing. Please don't get carried away by the pleasure of the senses. The pleasure of the senses are not even 0.000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000.0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 of consciousness. So if you want to be like blind beggars, keep on picking the coins. Ru Mataji told you, if you want to be in Sat-Chit Anand, छोड़ो. उड़ जा रे पंछी पिंजरे से उड़ जा, ये तन है पिंजरा और तू है आत्मा. जीवन का मकसद मुक्ति पाना है, प्रभु को है पाना. हाँ प्रभु को है पाना, ना समोसा को है खाना. उड़ जा रे पंछी पिंजरे से उड़ जा. मैं भी अभी जाऊं ताज, मैं भी उड़ जाता हूँ. See you tomorrow at 8. Bye bye.